Hello and welcome to the Arbitration Conversation. So in this webisode, we have a special treat. We get two for the price of one. So first of all, we have Colin Rule, the CEO of Arbitrate.com, and we wanted to really specially invite our special guest, Dr. Nudrat Piracha. Dr. Piracha is a Fulbright scholar. She's also the JAMS International Arbitration Fellow, and she's the first Pakistani woman to earn her SJD here in the United States. She is a true scholar, a true revolutionary in the area of arbitration. Super excited for you to be here. Thank you so much, Dr. Piracha. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. It is my true pleasure to be here with you today.
Well, so first of all, I guess I would love for you to just share a little bit about your journey of what made you decide you wanted to get an SJD and your work with respect to both the Fulbright and your fellowship. I know that's kind of a two-part question, but I'd love to hear your journey.
Yes, for SJD in Pakistan, there is not much expertise in international investment arbitrations. So at the moment, there are about 4 people in Pakistan who have the same kind of experience that I have, and I'm the only woman with this kind of experience. So if I was to look for a PhD in Pakistan, chances are I wouldn't even find an institution or someone to supervise my dissertation. And having worked for 17 years as a counsel in arbitrations, now I wanted to shift to the position of arbitrator, getting appointments as an arbitrator. And that was one of the push that I had in pursuing a SJD. And the second question was my fellowship, right? So
Yes.
As I say, in Pakistan, what happens is women are considered to be suitable for certain kind of cases. Like most of the women here would work in family laws, child custody issues, and people just relegate certain kind of cases and think women can only do these cases. So most of the women wouldn't get a high profile case. When I left for my Fulbright, at that time I was representing the government of Pakistan in an arbitration worth $600 million. And in Pakistan, again, it is unheard of that women would be representing the government of Pakistan in such a high stake dispute. So the other push I had was I felt I had reached a point where I could not grow anymore. And I wanted that I have skills that I bring back to Pakistan and I train other people, and in particular women, and develop that capacity that women feel confident that they too can be practicing in difficult areas.
I mean, it's even in the United States, investment arbitration is still pretty male dominated. So for you to be able to overcome all the hurdles in Pakistan and what you've done, I'm sure you have many stories. I mean, I'm just so impressed with what you've been able to do. I mean, are there any things in particular that were a turning point for you where you kind of knew you would be able to do it despite the hurdles?
Yes, I think hurdles I have never seen as hurdles as such. Because I remember the very first few days at the firm when the very first investment arbitration was assigned to me, my colleagues wouldn't hand over the files to me. And when they finally did, they just scattered all the paper and files on the floor for me to pick up. And I thought to myself, you know what, my first instinct was just leave. And then my second instinct was, you know what, if I do that, the battle is over before it has begun. So for me, it has been a long battle, really, because you're constantly trying to prove yourself and you're constantly trying to prove you're good enough. And then you have to be at least twice as good as the men just to survive, not to excel, just to survive. So there is still...
I'm sorry to interrupt. It's so inspiring. I mean, I feel like, you know, we talk about civil rights leaders or people who are pioneers in breaking the glass ceiling. I feel like you're doing that in Pakistan, and your example is not important not only for you but for all of the women who are going to do this work moving forward. So that's an incredible story to hear, that happened to you and that you persevered.
Yeah. So I think it's here most of the girls wouldn't even talk about the problems, and I think it is important to talk about the struggles, and it is equally important to share success stories so that girls know that if they just stick in there, they are eventually going to make it. So I do hope, I mean, in future, I'm wanting to set up niche ADR practice, which is in which I'm wanting to train women, build capacity. At this point of time, it would be incredibly difficult to find a woman with the same capacity and the capacity that I need. But I'm looking forward to developing a lot of capacity in Pakistan and developing this niche practice, all women practice, where women can have a kind of a safe environment and they have this opportunity to learn and excel and benefit from my experiences.
That's amazing.
It is. It's great. Well, and the thing is, I mean, because you've been such a trailblazer in obtaining the fellowship, being a Fulbright scholar, it gives you amazing credibility. Maybe you also want to speak to your work with the ad hoc committee with ICSID, because that's another really quite impressive accomplishment.
Yeah. So it's this appointment has I'm the first woman from Pakistan to be appointed to the ad hoc committee, and the second Pakistani. Before me was a previous Attorney General of Pakistan. So it is quite, I would say, it was quite an accomplishment, even by my standards.
You're going to be in the history books. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Nudrat,
I really hope so.
I'm sorry I interrupted you again, but I wanted to ask you a question about your Weinstein Fellowship. I know Ellen and David and Jay do a great job with that program, and it's such an active community of alumni as well. You know, how was your experience going through that program, and are you connected to others in the program, and has it helped you along the way?
Yes, I think the Weinstein Fellowship, it was a remarkable experience. We got the opportunity to shadow some of the best mediators in the field. And I think the most remarkable thing about the fellowship is the diversity amongst the fellows. There are, I think, in total now about 120 fellows. And the people who were mentoring us, they were so open and candid about their experiences. I mean, what worked, what did not work. I mean, I remember Leo mentioning that these are the things I did wrong. And if you do not do these things, it might save you about 25 years of work. And I'm like, okay, that might be something. So people, I think they were so very open about sharing experiences. And for countries, for instance, like Pakistan, where we are still at a very, very early stage of trying to develop court next ADR systems, having access and being able to tap into this resource, all these people who have done it for their countries and all these people who have successfully done it. I think it's an incredible resource to have. And the fact that they are so open makes it an incredibly precious experience.
That's wonderful. Yeah, and for someone who's doing such pioneering work like you're doing, it's probably a great thing to have a support system like that from all around the world, people you can draw on and get advice from. So that's great.
Yeah, and I think it kind of speaks to a larger story, because the larger story which is going on throughout the world with respect to arbitration and international arbitration is this focus on bringing more diversity, bringing more women into the fold. And I think that your experience and your being a trailblazer in that area is actually part of an international story. I mean, we see similar movements in Africa and other parts of the world, and I think women are going to be really leading the way, if I might say so.
Looks like.
Well, thank you so much for taking this time. I don't know if you have any last inspiring words you want to share with the audience.
I would just say that no matter what experiences you have, everything happens for a reason, and you just need to take all the negative experiences and the energy and channel it into a positive stream and just keep going. You will get to someplace good. All you need to do is just keep going.
Thank you. That's about the best last statement anyone has ever given on this as part of the arbitration conversation. So I just want to say thank you. It has been an absolute delight, and I look forward to hearing more about your career as you go along. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see you as a Secretariat head of the United Nations. So thank you so much.
Thank you
so much.
Very inspiring. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Lovely talking to you both.